All right, let's see what I got. Big box, big package. Just came in the mail today. Alright, let's see. Okay. Styrofoam. Okay, let's check this out. Anybody know what it is gonna be yet? It's pretty big, right? Lots of styrofoam. Some instructions. More styrofoam. Don't want to see the styrofoam, that's no fun. Another box. Let's check out what's in here. Aha. These are all the accessories. See that? Lots of goodies in there. This has got to be, oh, look at this. It's a little muffler. Now you got to know what it is, right? Little bitty muffler. Okay, then there's one more box. Let's get this big one out of here. It's all in styrofoam. Look at that. All right. Open this up, see what we got. Cut it into something. Ta-da! This is a diesel heater. I've seen it on my the last trip we were on. The guy showed me this in his ammo can, so I want to kind of do the same thing. Get it out here so you can see what it is. Thought it was going to be red. Black's just fine. There it is. That's all there is to it. And controls. And this is a little pump, fuel pump. Not quite, not gonna fit. Use that for another project. Once you got that box, which has a removable lid, you want to mark it. This is the plate that comes with it. So you want to mark it inside here so you can attach it to the box and it's not going to get too hot and melt it. So what I did, gonna need some kind of spacer. I think I'm gonna use a block. Put that in, the heater in, to see about where you need it. It needs to be, block needs to be in there so it'll raise this up so much. Otherwise it'll be too far down on the side of this. So I kind of saw where I was, and there's some some places in here inside the box where you can kind of gauge, and it gives you a point to where you can measure from. So I took a look at where that was actually, or you can just put this plate on the inside, hold it there, and then you can kind of mark it. I kind of went from here to see where I needed to be. So you just flip it around and put this where you need it. Take your marker and mark out. So, and make sure you're small enough, these attachment holes will attach to the box itself. But yeah, it's big enough here that it's not going to get too hot to melt my box. So I marked it off, and then I'll cut it out. So I bought this gas can from Walmart, $10.88. It's pretty beefy, but it comes with this goofy, I hate these things, fillers. So I went ahead and I was trying to find just a lid. All I need is a cap. So I went and bought this at the same place in Walmart. It's just a different filler. And I'll use it kind of as a cap. Anyway, when you take this off, you got to push this down, screw this off. Inside you'll find this screen thing, and we don't need that, so you got to pull that out, and you got to pull it out with a pair of pliers because it's in there, it's wedged in there pretty good. So get rid of that. So I'll get rid of this, get rid of that. When I put diesel in it, I'll use this and just put it in upside down. Oops. Put that in upside down like that with a little cap on it, and then this will go on top of that. That'll keep it, from leaking and whatnot. So now what I need to do is put this petcock in this can. So how you do that, and these are all on YouTube videos, you need to see how to do it. And first off, I need to figure out where I need to put it. And the way it's going to sit, I'm either going to sit it in like that toward there, or what I'm kind of thinking of is I need a flat spot. I'm thinking about putting it somewhere around here. So that looks like a good spot. In mind, this is only, a little over $10, so it's not too awful terrible if you put it in an inconvenient place. The idea is for it to drain out from the bottom. If I fill this up, it'll drain out. So let me show you how to do that. I've got a step bit here, and you've got to get the right size. And from what I can gather, my step is about the third one down. So we'll kind of mark that where we want to be. It's a nice flat spot. I'll start it, drill a hole. keep on testing it until you get it where you want it to be. That's about right there. Don't want to go too small. Make sure you get all the gunk out of there. It's a pretty clean hole. You can see that or not. Okay, this is the trick. So I got the nut off. Take that nut off, and there's two washers right there. Two O-rings. So keep that first one on there. And what I want to do is I'm just taking a piece of wire that I had laying around, and I'm going to stick that wire down in the hole and see if I can't get it to come out top. You can do this with string or wire. So I got that. Now I'm going to take this other end, petcock, and I'm going to stick it in there. Make sure you got your O-ring in place. Okay, got that in there, and then I'm gonna kind of wrap this wire around so it'll just stay on. It doesn't have to be too much. I'm gonna just kind of bend it around like that. Okay. Now put that in there, pull it through the hole, and because I got that wrapped, it'll pop right out, just like that. So once you pull that through and it comes out, you have some threads that you got to get in there. So I got the pole just about right. To use a pair of pliers and just tighten that so you can get the threads on there. The threads sticking out. And take your other O-ring, stick it on there, just like that, and pick your nut, secure it tight. Snug it up, don't get too crazy with it. And there you have it. There's your petcock. And then the fuel line will go on top on that, clamp that on, and it'll go to my heater. So my petcock's right there at the bottom. Comes around here, goes into a filter, and they say to put it like this so the air goes up. It's not a, it's kind of just a screen and a sediment filter almost. And the line goes down underneath right here and into the fuel pump. Fuel pump goes around and in the intake right there. Here's your, that's your inlet hose for the air, and then of course that's your exhaust. And my battery sits right here. I'll figure out some way to lock it in there. But just got to put the wiring harness and put some diesel in it and see if it'll fire up. Well, here's the finished product. It's pretty compact. It's just a box. Let me show you around. That's all it is. Let me show you inside. Flip the tube and pop the top. And I just have everything inside. Here's the exhaust pipe. Put it in there. Just slides on. Here's the air intake. Slides on as well. Get it on there. There we go. I'm kind of using this for a switch right now. It's the fuse. But I got my fuel right there. Got my battery right there. This is just in case it rains out. When I have it up on top of the rig, this is the intake. I just took a piece of PVC, cut a hole in it, and then put some sealant on there. But if it rains, I'll just put that on there so you don't get any rain coming in the intake. This battery tested and it's working just fine. It should be plenty of power. It's just a little tractor battery, lawn tractor, the battery that I'd had. And I can't remember what I bought it for, but I've had it for a few years. so I might as well put it to work. I put a just a little, I don't even know, it's just like a cover for an outlet, so it'll won't, you know, if it gets wet, it's not going to get inside. What I did that for was for my power, my plug-in for the remote control, and it's down in here, all down in there. So there's the remote right there. So I'll just fish it out through there. So I just have to flip it open, feed this through. That way, you know, there again, I'm just setting up in case it rains. That way it won't get wet. This also has a little keychain remote as well, which is kind of nice. But I just plug that in, and now I have my remote. So what do you say we fire it up? Open the garage door just a tad. I don't want to gas myself out. So push this out just a little bit so my exhaust pipe goes outside. I don't want to get gassed. So I'll find my fuse. Right there. Turn it on. So you can see it. Two hands. Alright, plug it in. Turns it on. That's my switch. I can probably get a switch later on. There's your display. And there's tons of videos on this, so I'm not going to go through everything, but all you got to do is push on. I've got it set. Well, you can set it just by pushing up and down. It's in Celsius, so I've got it pretty low, but I want to probably put it up at the initial outgo. So there's 10, 11, 12. Let's put it all the way up to 20. Okay. And then all you have to do is hit start right here. You can see it, the little display starts to, I'm going to show you, get that a little closer so you can see it. Starts to show it. Fan turning, and then the little glow plug turns on. The pump hasn't started clicking yet because it goes through a kind of a startup. What's displayed right now is the time. I just haven't set it. But once it gets hot enough, that's where it's using most of its power, is when the glow plug's on. You can see these little arrows going back and forth. That means the air's flowing. Of course, the fan's on. You can hear it. Yeah, we got cold air coming through. There it goes. Now you can hear the tick of the fuel pump. Now you can hear it start to ignite. There she goes. It's starting to get warm now. You can hear it just crank up. And the fuel pumps start to pump a little faster until it gets up to snuff. It's a little louder because I have the exhaust and a little pipe underneath the garage door, but otherwise it's not that loud. Now it's warm. So that took a few minutes to get up to that snuff. I can turn it down. If it gets up to speed, I'll crank it back down. Or you can push these two buttons and do the pump speed. 1.6 is as low as it goes. That'll bring it back down as well. That thing's nice and cool. It's not hot at all. It's got some nice hot air coming out. Now it's starting to slow down because it's up to temperature. You can kind of hear it winding down. And then you can hear the fuel pump start to go down. But I've got some really nice warm air coming out right here. And I made that so I could just put a hose onto it. I don't know if you can see that. Just clamp this on here, put a hose and clamp that onto this outside. So then I can just put a hose right there, which I have, just to give you an idea. So here's my hose. I just have to slide it on when I get my tent set up, just like that. Now I got hot air coming out. So I ran it for a couple hours yesterday, and it did great. I've 2.5 hours I think it did, and I barely used any diesel, and I was at 12 volts, 12.3 on my battery, and it was 12.25 when I ran it after that. So I mean, it hardly takes any power once it gets to this level. But like I say, it does that power up, and then it'll cool down. The only problem is, you take it down to the lowest setting, and you still got some pretty warm air coming out of here. So it doesn't shut off completely. It'll keep running, and so if it gets too hot, I'm just have to vent some windows and just leave it running, because doesn't really use that much fuel and that much electricity when you do it that way. But there it is. Idea is it should be able to pack it all up, and actually I'll run it with the lid on it, so get an idea. And the sound level is pretty low. If I pack this up, just to give you an idea. So all you can hear now is just the exhaust. Like I say, it's not that loud. And the exhaust will be better. It just sounds that way because it's in the pipe. They give you a little muffler, but it's kind of worthless. They give you this little muffler, but it just goes straight through. It's not even a muffler. It's made to look like a muffler. It's got no baffles in it. So that's kind of worthless. I could try it to see, but I don't think it's going to make any difference if I stick this on the end. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make any difference at all. The right end on there. Ooh, a little warm. I guess it makes a little bit of difference, huh? Oh, that is a lot quieter. Huh, maybe we'll leave that on there. Well, there you go. Just thought I'd show you, especially Jerry Johnson. Thank him for showing me how to do that and giving me the idea. But there you go, Jerry. I thought I'd show you my setup.